Compulsory dance, original dance, and the free. Here's a recap of the second leg, the OD.
Liz Punsalan and Jerod Swallow, four-time U.S. national dance champs, skated a strong original dance. This year's rhythm was the jive, and they definitely had a good feel for this dance. They had a smooth skate. They even threw a little fun in for the audience. Pasha, Grishuk, and Evgeny Platov took on the tougher side of the jive, a leather-clad rock and roll. They took an early stumble but recovered fairly well. This is not their first fall of the season. But as world champs, it didn't harm them, and they seem to have been given some cushion by the judges to absorb those falls. Canadians Shae, Lynn, Bourne, and Kraatz, a refreshing young team, brought their carefree interpretation of the jive to this dance event. They're third in the world, and I think they're breathing down the necks of those top two Russian teams. Marina, Anissina, and Gwendal Peizerat compete for France, but actually they're half Russian. That's where she comes from. Great skating, but their interpretation of the jive was a bit off-center, even down to the costume design. The judges felt pretty good about it, though. They had them in third.
So we're set for the free dance, and two-time national ice dance champ Susie Wynn takes a break from her duties backstage to help us understand how a team that falls could still be in first place when everybody else skated so well.
So I'm going to have to try to explain this to you. Okay, well, I'm confused too. I think one of the reasons is that Grishuk and Platov are four-time world champions. They won the Olympic gold in '94, and the judges are protecting them a little bit, insulating their position. They also have been working with Grishuk and Platov to make their programs more legal.
So what you're saying is they want to try to prevent this from turning into a show. Keep it a sport. But I guess from that standpoint, there are two schools of thought.
Well, it's already very difficult to judge because of the subjectivity, but there seems to be an interpretive side of dance and a more traditional side. The Russians and the French are definitely more theatrical interpretive, whereas the Americans and the Canadians are sticking to the rules. They're playing it right. Their footwork is nice. It's more of a ballroom style of dance, and that's what the judges say they'd like to see. But we'll have to wait and see what they actually do.
Before we get going, let's take a quick look at where we stand going into the free dance. The four-time world champs are in first. Bourne and Kraatz are putting the pressure on. The Americans, lost in this judging controversy, will try to pull their way up from sixth.